Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
It is such a joy to be here with all of you, and thank you so much, Reconciled Church, and just inviting Adoption Associates. We're very excited to be a part of this very special event. So thank you. So Adoption Associates, our mission is from Ephesians 1:5. So he predestined us for adoption to sonship through Jesus Christ. And so we are going to actually go through some slides, and I was trying to figure out how I can do this because they're behind me. So I think I'm going to do this. That would probably be the best. All right. So yeah, what I actually do is, I do a lot of awareness all over Michigan, and then I approve families to adopt, and then I get to have the joy to see the children in the home until we actually finalize the adoption. So I'm working with 9 sweet kiddos right now, and we're actually, between this month and next month, we're going to be finalizing all those adoptions. So they are very excited to celebrate with their families, and yeah, it's beautiful. All right, so we are a nonprofit organization. It's actually, we're in our 34th year, and yeah, so it's kind of neat. I was actually a part of Adoption Associates 20 years ago for 4 years, and I absolutely loved it, and I worked with the birth moms and a lot of counseling and just really walking them through life circumstances, and then also approving the families and working with the children, and then God brought me back full swing, so I've been back for several years. And we are all over Michigan, so we do have an office in Farmington Hills, would be the closest one here, but we have 3 offices, but we are all over Michigan, from way up north to southeast. And the main thing to know is that if you do have a woman that has an unplanned pregnancy that is just wanting information, it may not be that she's making a decision. We will go and we will meet her where she's at, anywhere, okay? So we're not going to say, oh, come to our office. We're going to meet her at her home. We're going to meet her, bring her to a coffee shop, to a restaurant, whatever she is comfortable, and we will usually come that day. Because sometimes she is in crisis and she needs to talk to someone right then. Right. Some are more comfortable just by texting or a phone call, whatever it is that she wants. We want to be a resource to her, okay?
Amen.
Yeah. And so that's one thing, is phone, text, literally we have 24-hour service. So we are there all the time for whoever is in need. Okay, we handle all the legal arrangements. There's no attorney needed. We do everything from the very beginning to the end. Again, we're in our 34th year. We do 80% of all adoptions with safe delivery in Michigan. And so we walk alongside the birth mom, the birth father, provide her with support. We have counseling services. We have all different things. We can refer her to support groups. There's a lot of different things that we can do. We really just want to help meet her where she's at. Some want a lot of contact, some do not. And we just want to be there for her and however it is that she needs. And I just think about a situation that my executive director, so the birth mom had chosen adoption for her child, and I think it was a couple months after they had built this great relationship, and she was going through some hardships in her life, and she just called and just said, hey, can we just get together? And so absolutely. And my executive director was so excited to get that phone call, and so she just took her out to lunch and just listened, and was there to be a friend. And so that is something that I feel Adoption Associates does an exceptional job.
Amen.
Yeah. So the birth mother, next slide. And so typical birth mom is in her 20s, and a lot of people think it's just a teenager, but we certainly, as Embrace Grace, as they had mentioned, that sometimes it's her third child, and she wants to choose life, but she knows that she cannot financially provide for that child, or there can be all kinds of situations, domestic violence, all different things. And so she may choose that. And that's one thing that we do, is we help support the other children as well, and whatever needs they have. So we're just always looking at the whole picture of what the needs are, whether she chooses adoption or not. And so yeah, 80%, as I had mentioned, we do of all the safe deliveries in Michigan. All right, so the birth father, and Pastor did such a great job on that, and just really helping to understand the birth father and the value of the birth father as well. And as much as he wants to be involved, we want to support him. We have support groups for birth fathers, and so we want him to be able to be as involved as he would like as well.
Amen.
And so that's something that, who release their rights, they experience loss as well. If that is the choice, if they choose adoption, there's loss, and so we want to support him in that process as well. And encourage to provide medical information for both the birth mom and the birth father. And so there's one of the things that I was asked to talk about is the difference of the different type of adoption, so I'm going to do that. You want to go to the next one? So the first is a closed adoption. That is not as common anymore, but we certainly honor that if someone would like to have a closed adoption for whatever reasons. And so what that is where the information is not exchanged and that they typically will not meet. And again, it can be for all different reasons that a birth mom chooses that. So no identifying information is shared between adopting and birth family. And in some states, they can access the adoption file upon adulthood. So that is true that in Michigan. So the next slide goes into the most common is a semi-open adoption. So it's where pictures and letters are exchanged. And I'm working with many children right now, many birth moms right now, and it can really vary. What we want the woman to know and the man to know is that whenever, if ever, that they would like to spend time with the baby, see the baby, be a part of that. She's really in the driver's seat. And our families are trained. They do a very extensive education, and they go through references, background checks, clearances, a very rigorous process to approve them. So that's one of the roles that I do, is approving families. So they understand and are educated really to the benefits of having a more open adoption. That's really healthy for the child. So then when the child has questions that come up, there is an open dialogue for that. And so that's something that we really try to help educate our families and that they are open to. And so, but it's really up to the birth parents of how they would like it. And so often what they like to do is just know that that option is there. And so I have a little boy, Jeremiah, right now, and it was about 6 months that the birth family, so it was the birth mom, the grandparents, a sister, that they wanted to meet. So we arranged that at a park. It was great. It was extremely healing. And but the minimum will be like pictures and letters exchanged, things like that. So, and then the next one goes into fully open adoption. And so that is where they have built a great relationship, and that they really don't need the agency to be that intermediary, and they just have exchanged information, and they really, it's up to them what they want. I mean, sometimes they will come at the birthday party. It can really vary, but an open adoption is very healthy for and we educate families of how to just do that positive adoption language. And I think that might be in one of the slides to come, but one of the things that we do really emphasize is just, I mean, if you guys think about, and I know you all have the same heart as me, that's why you're here, but if you think about a woman, that the courage it takes for her having an unplanned pregnancy, keeping the child, choosing life, and then thinking selflessly, what is in the best interest of this child, and going through labor, and then choosing a better life for whatever circumstances that might be happening. And so that is a hero, right?
Yes.
Truly.
Yes.
And so we'll go to the next slide. All right, and we'll just skip through those. I train a lot of hospitals and a lot of professionals, so some of these slides don't apply. So, all right, and so basically, here's just kind of the process in a nutshell. And so they contact us, they either meet with us, text, phone call, live, and address the birth father with the caseworker. So we'll really go into what all that looks like, how this they got to this point, what the rights are of the birth father, and we'll go into that in a little bit, and make a hospital plan. So that is if she comes to us pregnant, then we can make a hospital plan and really see what does she want that to look like. Again, they are in the driver's seat. What does the birth father want this to look like? Do they want the family at the hospital? Do they want them in the room? What do they want to hold the baby? Again, it's just really up to her, but we're just really helping her to mentally prepare for this and to feel as comfortable and supported as possible. So here's the legal process, because a lot of people really want to know, how does this work? What's the legal process of this? So voluntary release, her parental rights in a hearing, it's usually 2 to 6 weeks. And after her release, there's a 21-day appeal period where she can petition the court for a rehearing or file an appeal. It's not simply to change her mind, but it's basically like if she would say that she was forced or coerced, and with our agency, we do a very thorough job to make sure that this is truly what she and he want. And then release of parental rights can be completed out of court, so it's just simply a paper that you sign, and that we submit that. Okay? And then here is the legal process for the birth father. So the parental rights of the birth father must also be addressed. His rights can be terminated in several different ways. He is fully cooperative, involved in the process, signs a legal release. That's what happens usually, is they'll just sign a paper, or they may say, I'm not going to do anything, but he doesn't come in court and contest. And then, so the main thing to know is that, I think it's on here, is that if they're married, or if his name is on the birth certificates, he has 100% the same rights. And so an adoption cannot happen without his consent in that way, if his name is in the birth certificate or they're married. Okay? All right. And then safe delivery. So some people call it safe haven, safe delivery, and they used to have those boxes, but we don't have that in Michigan. But basically, safe delivery it's a law that was created when in the past children would be found like in a receptacle or different things, and they needed to find a way for babies to be able to be safe and for a woman to be able to safely release a child. And again, often domestic violence is a part of the whole factor of this. And so what happens is, and I won't go into it too much, but if a woman goes, there's 4 different here, so there's a hospital, police, 911, and a fire department. If they go, usually it's a hospital, if they go in the hospital building and they have anybody that is in uniform, and they just say, they don't even need to say anything actually, but sometimes they'll say, I want safe delivery, or I'm going to be giving my baby. So as long as someone's in uniform, then that is a safe delivery. So that is a safe way to preserve the life of the child. And then at that point, we have full rights. So we basically, what we do is we go through the whole process. We have families, even if someone is at the hospital and they say, I want to plan adoption, we have families that are approved that are going to come that day. And they're going to start bonding with the baby. They're going to start the whole process. They're going to be able to take the baby home the next day. And so that's one thing that I love with this, is there's no foster care process. It's literally permanency right away. It's a plan. It's a plan for the child. And so, yeah. And so that's a big thing that we do, is we just want to make it as organized as possible, but sometimes we get those calls at the hospital, and that's okay. We're going to be there within an hour, and a family's going to be there probably within 2. And they're going to start bonding right away. Okay? So, go ahead. So, talking about adoption language, that's one of the things is someone may say like giving a baby up, we say, what we do is we just restate that in a positive way, that is really responsible, that you're making a plan for your child, because that's what it is. They're making a wonderful plan for their child to have a great life. So here's just resources. And again, we are available 24/7. If someone even just has questions or someone is just thinking about adoption, there's never any pressure at all. We have all different kinds of support, resources, counseling, helping her in different ways. We can financially also help if it's with the safety of the baby, and also post-adoption services, because of course that is a very emotional decision. And so that is something that we care about her absolutely as much as the child. So we're going to be there for her for post-adoption services, counseling, helping her in different ways as well. So, but yeah, so I will be available too for any questions anyone has. And we have over in the other room, I've got all kinds of materials that you guys can just grab. There's a beautiful book called Love Stories, and those are all different from birth fathers and birth mothers. Just beautiful, beautiful stories of how just things turned out for them to incorporate and really be a part of the adopted family's life. So thank you so much.